everyone, and welcome to another episode of Gamestack. I am your driver today, Rick McVick, and with us tonight is Shalene.
Hiya.
And up top above me is Vendertron.
Welcome, sir or madam.
Summer weather, I see.
Oh, it's beautiful up here, guys. It's a whole plus 13 degrees Celsius. Patios are open. People are walking around in their parkas and shorts. It's beautiful.
And also, I think I played the outro.
Really?
I think that wasn't the intro. I don't remember which one's the intro or outro.
Well, it doesn't matter anyways, because guess who's here? Guess who's in the chat?
Who's in the chat?
Jess is in the chat.
Oh, look at that.
Yes, we miss you.
Hey. Welcome.
She always comes in when I'm making a fool of myself.
Well, that's the best time to come in. So yes, tonight. What?
Could come anytime, right?
Yeah.
Tonight is episode 14. We're getting up there. It's a long
We're
climb.
getting up there. I'm gonna have to start saving for pension.
It's a long climb, but we're getting there. And so tonight you can expect. Yes. I wanted to say, don't forget to host and follow us if you have your own Twitch channel. So please, that helps us out a lot. We love that. So yeah. Also, if you missed our spooky Friday the 13th Let's Play last week, please take a look at it. It's very funny. Shalene screams in it. It's posted to YouTube, and you can still find it here on Twitch. And plus, it features new songs by Muwa. Not Muwa. That sounds like an artist, doesn't it, nowadays?
Yeah, no, don't say Muwa, because everybody's going to be like, who's this Muwa?
I might generate a hype train, though.
Am I taking crazy pills? Doesn't anybody see?
I did learn that there is a girl. She's a comedian, actress, rapper, I think, and she literally calls herself Aquafina. And it confused a bunch of us. Like, isn't that the water? Isn't that the water? Like, who would name themselves after the water? Anyway.
You would have a hard time, like, not getting sued for your merch and stuff,
it's
right?
It's spelled differently. It's like, it goes back to like Queen versus Vanilla Ice, where like, Queen was suing Vanilla Ice and he's like, no, mine goes bump, 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 but a bump, bump, and theirs goes bump, 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 but a bump, bump. Yeah, it's different. Anyway, so yes, and special news. What why did you just throw the bottle?
Because why not?
Okay.
Oh, that happened. I just saw the aftermath.
So, the special announcement real quick. Shalene, you're going to E3.
I am.
E3.
I'm kind of freaking out, you guys. I'm kind of freaking out.
What? Why?
Do we want to have the whole story?
Yeah, we need the whole
So
story.
this was a tease because you'll get the story later as you watch the show. But we have some 5-star reviewer shout-outs. And that was it. And our overview tonight. What are you doing?
I'm adjusting. Just never mind. There, better.
We haven't even started the podcast.
It's like scratching yourself in public.
The sun doesn't capture this good side
Yeah,
yet. So.
yeah. We must mention, too, that all three of us are coming off a very long, hard week. And this is already on fire.
This is what a very hard week looks like, you guys.
So in tonight you can expect the BAFTAs, GTA 4's soundtrack change, and new Castlevania for iOS. Gameplay. Rick finally finished Hellblade. Shalene, I'm reading this right off the script, man.
Yeah.
Shalene joins a convoy, and Vendor didn't update show notes, so I'm gonna guess he's playing Pong. And then we have emails as well. So we're gonna go right into the news. Actually, no, before the news. This is what we were teasing with Shalene going to E3. Let's go ahead and what's your E3 story?
Okay,
Yeah.
So I got an email. I was at a conference for work this week. You guys are sick of hearing about it. Listeners haven't heard about it. I was at a conference.
Every show.
Another week, another conference.
I know.
How was your week, Shalene? Oh, I was at a conference.
I'm exhausted, you guys.
How do you actually get any work done?
I don't.
It's government. They never get work done. This is why. They're always at conferences.
Still, because we're all at a conference eating horrible surf and turf. It's the worst.
Cold spinach.
Right.
Cold spinach shaped like an ice cream scoop.
Oh, that's just ugh.
It was
Oh dear.
It was like it was.
Okay. Well.
I'm at this conference and my phone goes off. I check the phone and it's an email from Microsoft. No big deal. Xbox sends out promotional emails all the time. If you have a gamer tag, you know that. I also get press releases from Microsoft, so I get a lot of emails from Microsoft. But this one says you're invited to the E3 press briefing. And I think, I guess this is like announcing the date of the E3 press briefing. I don't think it's a personal invitation, but it was. It totally was.
Wow, it's a good thing you actually read it and didn't just pass over it.
I clicked through the link and it auto-filled my name and We Just Love Games. And it was a registration for the Microsoft E3 press briefing.
Nice.
So I signed up for it and I have a seat at the Microsoft E3 press briefing. And I'm kind of freaking out about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know why. I feel like it has to be a mistake. I'm pretty sure it's a mistake.
Well, it's going to be the best show we've ever done.
But yeah, I'm gonna be at E3, so I can't afford to go for the whole week, like to be on the show floor and stuff. But I'm going to that. I'm gonna try and go to BE3, and I also signed up for EA Play since that is open to the public. So
nice.
Awesome. That's gonna
we'll see how it goes.
That's gonna be awesome.
And let me know, audience, what kind of coverage you guys want. Do you want like vlogs or like what kind of? This is nothing that I know how to do. So what kind of coverage do you guys want to see?
Joseph Tao in the chat is asking, did you enter the Xbox raffle and is that how you got in?
I did not enter any Xbox raffle.
Yeah, Joseph, she's just so cool. Microsoft, like Bill Gates is like, I want Shalene to be here. And that was it. I don't even know how he sounds, so that could be completely off.
I saw some other people tweeting like Jeff Keighley and stuff, and some people from IGN were tweeting, and that's the same email that I got.
That's crazy.
So I got like the press invitation,
That's
and
awesome.
I'm pretty sure it has to be a mistake.
No.
That's just luck of the draw, Shalene.
I get press releases. I signed up for the press release list, but I don't even get the press releases early. Like I get them at the same time that the news comes out on their YouTube channel and stuff.
Well, remember your friends when you're at the top.
Yeah, anyway.
Who are you again?
Get out of here.
Why's this guy talking to me?
You're all jerks.
All right, so we're just going to turn Shalene off. I'm going to put this right there.
Yeah, suddenly there's a problem with the connection on the show while you're at E3. I don't know what happened. Just cut out.
The first time that I will be going to LA. Yes, it is.
You'll see the ocean.
Farthest west I've ever been. I probably won't see the ocean. I'm only going for just the weekend. I will see.
She's going for the beer and the bitches.
It's LA. It's on the coast. You kind of can't miss the ocean. Like you could just walk a few blocks.
Are you going to stay on? Are you going to go to Rodeo Drive?
I don't know.
And visit Santa Monica?
Doubt it.
You're going to strip on the Sunset Strip?
I wish I could go.
For anything.
Go.
Because I'm only going to be there for a very short time. So, and I'm going to try and schedule as much E3 as possible.
So here's the funny thing. So you're always at conferences, right? And the first vacation you plan
It's a conference.
is to go to a conference.
Hopefully this won't have bad spinach, though. It'll just be cold kale.
Unfortunately, Shalene will have spent all of her good hard-earned money on her entrance tickets.
This is going to be a really expensive trip, you guys. Do you have any idea how expensive it is to stay in Los Angeles during E3?
I wonder how much was your hotel?
$400 a night?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
$300 a night.
And that's for like a single bed with no bathroom.
With a stain.
It's
on
actually
the
just the
mattress.
broom closet.
Yeah.
It's the broom closet.
Yeah. If we get to go, if you end up coming too,
I will be whipping my credit card
for the low price of making sure I don't get mugged.
I'm gonna see if I can rework my finance because we got to make this happen, you guys. We got to make this happen.
Only if I can, if we can get into some of the places we're trying to get into. It's the only
Only
way.
if Rick, yes, and if Rick goes. But I mean, like I'm going to Arizona next Thursday. I just paid tuition. I'm buying a new car, and I have a trip to England. So
I want to go to BE3 so bad.
kind of tapped out.
I really hope
I want to go to this E3 really bad. But we will get into why we want to go to this E3 pretty bad in a little later, which I'm hoping we have. Did we not cover that at all? We need to cover that this week.
Cover what?
All the Pete Hines teasiness for BE3.
Oh, right.
That is not at all in the news. So take it away, Rick.
No, I'm just. Why didn't we include that in the news? I'm
No,
guessing.
It wasn't in Joseph Chow's emails.
Anyway, I don't think. Okay, I'll mention it here. But this BE3, Pete Hines kind of dropped the bomb that there's going to be some new IPs or at least some surprises in store.
Oh, righto. I forgot about that.
We can also expect a Doom 2 based on some wording, some very choice wording that he used. Hell on Earth, I think, is what he said. And that's a reference back to Doom. So people are really looking for a Doom 2. And he's got some surprises, so we can expect some new titles. I didn't really, after he said that stuff in those interviews, he then later said, I don't remember what I said at that conference because it was so busy and stuff. And he kind of,
oh, whatever.
yeah,
Fine.
he's just, he's teasing and then walking it back like, oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So
The rest of his team was like, Pete, we're not done with that. You can't talk about that.
So we'll see what that is. But I feel like there's a bit more hype being generated a little bit more around this BE3 than last year. He said he'd been working on it for, almost a year, like 7 months.
A lot of people on Twitter are commenting about the picture that Bethesda put out that said thanks a million to all of our followers. And it had a combination of people standing in line to go into the vault. And some of those people were characters out of the Elder Scrolls series, which naturally blew up the internet because that's the way people are. There's a lot of speculation. People think, what if they're fusing Fallout and Skyrim together? Wouldn't that be crazy? But I really think that this is just a genuine thank you. I don't think it really has anything to do with any new IP.
Could you imagine like the designers there just like, guys, we're just saying thank you. We're not teasing anything. There's no hints, secret. It's just we're saying thank you.
Yeah. No, we really mean it. Thank you. That's it. What about Starfield? There's been some speculation around Starfield.
I just feel like I don't know. That's almost like the ET of like new video games almost. Like not in the bad way, but in like the mystical like rumor sense, because I don't even know if we're ever going to see Starfield. Because
I think we'll see Starfield this year.
All it is just
you think
patent.
Well, if you're if there's anything that we know, Shalene, it's that you're really good at predicting E3. So
yeah,
but I think I said the same thing last year. So
this year we're gonna see Starfield every year. This year we're gonna see Starfield.
She's bound to be right one of these years. I don't think it's very fair to expect Bethesda to make this game in any specific way when the whole idea of new IP is to explore new ideas, right? I think it's toxic that fans really want to kind of steer the game series even if it doesn't exist yet. So
well, that's what happens when fans get involved with things at this level, is it becomes kind of not the companies anymore, but it becomes kind of the fans thing. Which is
actually a bigger problem for the company itself, because if they don't deliver on the expectation of the people end up disappointed.
Usually, but that's the big thing.
The Bethesda store has been like clearing out all their Fallout merch. Like it's all on sale. And what do you think that means?
I don't know, man.
Making way for new kids on the block.
Probably.
Yeah, because why would you blow out your old stuff if you weren't going to replace it?
That's just business 101.
Yeah, but there's no way we'd be getting another Fallout this soon. It's been what?
It'll be 3 years.
3 years. There's no way we're getting one this soon.
Well, so what's our track record for intervals between game releases?
There was a very short interval between Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, that's true.
That was good. They made a lot of money.
It was 2008 and then 2011.
Okay, so it's that same time frame.
it's possible if they have one of their other studios working on.
Damn. Could you imagine a new Fallout this year?
I would freak out.
I would freak out too. But
here's a question for you guys. Will the next IP require a replacement or massive overhaul of the creation kit?
well, if it let's just say it is like another New Vegas thing, I would probably guess no because it's kind of built upon the same engine. So
Because Bethesda has hinted at major changes to the engine, right?
I don't know much about that. I really don't.
But you know what makes me think that we're not going to see another Fallout for a really long time is the Creation Club. Because I feel like Bethesda has really indicated that Creation Club is supposed to be a thing to keep breathing life into the games while we wait for the next installment.
Well, if that's the case, they are on like the slow train to Nowheresville at this point because it's like nothing there. So, I mean, goodness gracious, what a terrible thing that thing is. But enough about some speculation. I think you're gonna have a grand old time at E3.
Mm-hmm.
And
Let's quickly weigh in on the chat here and see what they're saying. So Joseph Tao is saying, I hope working on it, air quotes, isn't filming and editing another video to play instead of doing an actual conference.
I hated that. I did not like that. I
And
would
he
be
also,
so livid if I drove just to watch a video.
you're driving?
No, I'm not driving. I'm going to fly.
Oh, okay. Whew.
If I traveled all the way out there, I would be so bugged.
He also says, but Obsidian had to rush New Vegas and didn't really finish it. So, and microtransactions will make companies lazy like Rockstar. Rockstar used to release a new game nearly every year, and now they haven't released anything but GTA 5 since 2013. Sorry. That's a very good point.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, microtransactions won't kind of flounder game development.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
All right. So, BAFTAs. What's that about?
Is that like our new trade agreement? Sorry.
No. The BAFTAs are the British Academy of Film and TV Awards, and they have game awards every year. These are some of the more prestigious game awards. And the winner of the Game of the Year, I just thought we could roll through some of these. The Game of the Year was What Remains of Edith Finch, which was a big surprise to me. I was really surprised about that. I haven't played it. I've heard good things, but I think it's
I thought you had played that.
I'd never even heard of it.
Huh. Interesting.
Best performance was Melina Juergens from Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Well done.
Best original properties, Horizon Zero Dawn. It's nice to see Horizon win something.
Yeah.
Best narrative, Night in the Woods. Best music, Cuphead.
Great.
Best multiplayer, Divinity Original Sin 2. Best mobile, Golf Clash.
That must have been like the new Candy Crush or something.
Wow.
Maybe. Best game innovation, Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
I would agree with that.
Best game design, Super Mario Odyssey. Game Beyond Entertainment, Hellblade.
Yeah.
Best family game, Mario Odyssey. Best evolving game, Overwatch.
It would have been funny if they were like best family game, Hellblade.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Best debut game, Gorogoa. Best British game, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Audio achievement, also Hellblade. Artistic achievement, also Hellblade.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, I agree with most of those. I do agree with most of those as well.
I feel like they just threw Mario in there to be kind to it.
Mario's pretty good. Have you played it?
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty good, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it best game design though.
Yeah, I don't think it's as good as reviewers thought it was.
Yeah, I think it's
pretty fun.
Anthropomorphic hat and all.
Yeah, well, game of the year right there. Hat of the year.
Hat of
Number
the year.
one hat.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. I really do.
Xbox One has brought original Xbox backwards compatibility to the table. And there will be 19 original Xbox games coming to backwards compatibility this month,
Nice.
Oh, nice.
including Jade Empire, Knights of the Old Republic 2, and more. So,
Very cool.
Black, Psychonauts,
This is notorious.
Modern Warfare. So that's pretty cool. Lots of games. I don't think I will be playing any original Xbox backwards compatible games, but
It's so hard because like you go back and you play these games you loved, and you're like, oh,
It's hard to go back to the games that were so, now that you have games that are like 10 times better in graphics and mechanics. Yeah.
it's hard to go back. It's hard to go back.
I tell you what. Wow, it's even like wearing a wife beater just makes that even more.
Thanks.
I can always go back to GTA. Doesn't matter what version, what edition, I can always go back to GTA.
Go play GTA 2.
Hellbender.
I have, and I love it. It's great.
When you go back to GTA 4, as I'm sure you were referring to, you're going to have a different audio experience than you
What?
did. Yes, that's right. GTA 4 is going to have some of its radio going away due to licensing issues.
What?
That's
Okay,
funny.
guys, that wasn't even supposed to be a segue. I was just genuinely saying that I could always go back to GTA games.
I mean, that was an
I was
excellent
so
segue.
impressed with your segue abilities,
Amazing.
Bender.
I totally magooed my way through that.
I was so impressed. I will never believe that wasn't intentional.
All right.
So a lot of the music was licensed for a 10-year period. So Rockstar is going to have to remove and replace music from this game. So this game that you own is going to be updated and it's going to have different music. And something that really makes me sad is that a large portion of the Russian station, Vladivostok FM, is going to be replaced. And I loved the Russian pop music. I loved it. I had that channel on all the time playing GTA 4.
Well, I mean, we can count on the community to make mods for this, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll be going away completely. And even still, like, if I wanted to listen to the same music in GTA 5 that I listened to in Vice City, I just go to the Vice City playlist and listen to that while I'm playing. So
Right. Yeah, but I don't like that that's a thing. I don't like that a game that I purchased can be changed and part of it can be removed. I don't like that.
Joseph Town in the chat says that this happened to Tony Hawk games a few years back, and those games have lived and died on their soundtracks. And he's right. I mean, Tony Hawk 1 and 2, especially, those soundtracks, like, influenced so much of my, like, teenage years. And before that, just, they're amazing soundtracks. But it makes me think, like, games that you can't go back and update, like Tony Hawk's, or, 1, 2, and 3, or like Grand Theft Auto 3 or Vice City. Games that you can't do that. Like, I wonder what the license is. I wonder how they change those licensing fees now, because obviously you can't update those games and redo the soundtracks on them, but now you can. So I wonder how that works, if it's more expensive now, or...
well, I mean, they've made their money.
Yeah,
So, like, it's really no loss to them. If anything,
Attempt was made to relicense the music.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would love to know.
I think that's the benefit of, writing your own music for a video game. But, maybe this is an opportunity to revive an old game.
Yeah.
Like
Like a GTA Vice City remastered with all new soundtrack and then they'll build in new storylines and stuff.
yeah, that's never going to happen.
I don't know. If I was the leader of that company, I'd see that as a business opportunity.
Nah, I think I'm just gonna update the soundtrack and be done with it.
Frankly, I'm surprised that they're adding any music and not just deleting what's there.
It's Rockstar. They're not that mean.
So Anyway, speaking of game companies that are mean,
I was wondering how the segue was going to go with this one.
Polygon is reporting that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 will not have a single player campaign.
So stupid.
I know, right?
Sea of Thieves doesn't have enough content.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Call of Duty is like,
Blops.
Polygon sources said that during development, it was believed that the single player could not be completed by the October release date. And they're going to be focusing on multiplayer and zombie mode. And that they're also working on a battle royale.
Oh my gosh.
oh my gosh, way to try and keep with the times, you dying God damn.
What's the difference in having the different kinds of Call of Duties, like a Black Ops and
Diversification.
They look.
how is it Black Ops if there's no single player?
They meet a bigger audience, make more money.
I mean,
But
like.
how is it Black Ops? Like Black Ops has followed this storyline. How are they calling it Black Ops if they're not
'Cause
following the storyline?
they can throw that name on whatever they want to and call it whatever they want because they own the rights to it, and
Yeah.
they can, and because they can, and like, who knows? Maybe they'll have some sort of like. So in the last Call of Duty, they had a war mode where the multiplayer went through almost like a mini storyline.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you started here, and then like if you did good or did bad, you advanced to the next stage. If you did good or did bad, you advanced to the third and final stage. So maybe they'll do something like that, like a war mode. I can tell you that it's going to be total garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The zombie thing is old and silly.
Mind you, a new zombie game just dropped this year.
Oh,
Or is it coming out this year?
great! They're trying to. Oh, gosh, can we be done with the zombies?
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for that Prison Break. What's the one we want to spread?
I want to play that so bad.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like it's a co-op.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, Shalene, I can't wait to play that with you.
That's not a zombie game, though, is it?
No. It's these two brothers and they break out of prison.
I was just wondering how we got from zombie games to that.
I want to be Walter.
That was a really strange little transition.
Was a jump. You're like, speaking of zombies, Prison Breaks.
I can't wait to break out of prison with you.
Well, I was thinking of what's that horrible zombie show?
The Walking Dead.
Or,
Yes, thank you.
Or the other
When
one,
they're in
Fear
the
Walking
prison,
Dead.
they're in the prison.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
They've been out of the prison for a long time.
Yeah, I think The Walking Dead is turning into the new Coronation Street of zombie shows. Oh
They're
man.
beating a dead horse with a dead stick. This
Speaking of the dead,
what did I segue into? What did I just walk into blindly?
Konami is making a new Castlevania game.
Ooh,
Nice.
It's releasing on iOS.
that's cool.
An iOS game. It seems like a strange choice to me because Castlevania games have traditionally been very gameplay intensive, you know, the kind of game that the focus is on the gameplay, you know,
Mhm.
and I don't see that working super well on iOS with touchscreen controls.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's going to support co-op play.
Yes, it will have 4-player co-op, and the screenshots are pretty. It's called Grimoire of Souls.
Mhm.
So
Blueberry Bowl in the chat says it is Konami though.
mhm.
Yeah.
We shall see, but that seems like a really, really strange decision to bring it to iOS instead of, say,
Right.
I don't know.
Joseph Tao says, remember, if you're going to play A Way Out with a friend, only one of you have to buy the game. That was
Dibs out.
That was a damn smart choice on their part.
Thundertron, I have to pay for E3.
Don't look
Okay.
over here.
We'll get to it eventually. Right?
Wish lists.
Yeah.
We'll put it on our Steam wish lists.
Maybe
But,
Santa will bring it on the next Gamestack
I gotta say,
Christmas
that's
special.
that's a brilliant idea for that company to do that. Make
Yeah.
a co-op centered game, and then it's like, well, then both of us have to buy it. Nope.
Mhm.
Good guy us. Only one of you has to buy it.
I have the biggest crush on that developer. I think he's so cute.
Who is this?
I don't know.
What's his name?
He's the Oscars guy. Joseph with an F. Fares, Fares. He's so cute. I have a big crush. So that's it for the news.
For that.
And while Vendertron is
He's very Adrian Brody.
Mhm.
You like Europeans, don't you?
Me?
No,
Shalene?
Shalene. Like I could
Oh,
see her going
yeah.
like for Antonio Banderas.
Ooh.
Yeah, I guess.
Hello, I am Antonio Banderas.
I mean, who wouldn't go for Antonio Banderas? Let's just be honest. here.
right? give me a Zorro mask any day.
This is getting.
On to our next
So
segment.
we have a giveaway, and it is not Antonio Banderas.
I'm sorry to disappoint you all. We're not giving away Antonio Banderas, but we are giving away
Paris.
Damn-Barris. But we are giving
It's his
away
busted brother.
this cardboard cutout.
So, Vendor, I
would
believe you.
so
Have...
be unsurprised if you just happen to have a cut out.
Well, I am in the desert. He could be around here somewhere. So on the last episode of Gamestack podcast, if you guys haven't checked it out, you should definitely take a look. We did announce a winner of Mafia 3.
We did.
But it was a flop. The recipient was Electric Skateboard, who is always a long time and benevolent listener of Gamestack podcast, because it is not a real account.
Nope.
So we have slapped that one back on the table.
Mafia 3.
And I've been taking tally. Let me see if we've got any new people. Nope. So we've got 45 on our list tonight.
Yay.
And I'm just going to throw 45 into the random number generator. Drum roll. 28.
Boom.
Who's number 28? Maria.
Yay.
So she will get a copy of Mafia 3.
Great. We'll get that out to her.
Congratulations, Maria. Okay. Our next game is called Bomb Defense. Bomb Defense is a sort of maze type game, a completely different take on tower defense, on the tower defense genre. It combines puzzles with making the game a little bit more difficult. You buy traps, bombs, turrets, and walls, and you place them in optimal positions to defend against enemies. It was released on July 5th, 2017, and developer publisher is Matora Games. Right now, it's currently selling on Steam for $8.79 Canadian. And
That means it's expensive.
Yeah. And our winner is number 12, Archon.
Nice.
Yay. Congrats to Archon.
How many games has he won?
I think maybe like 2.
Well, I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
No, I feel like we picked him a few times.
What matters is if you watch every week, you get to win as much as Archon does.
No, I don't think Archon's here today.
No, he's not.
So, did we mention the GoFundMe?
Oh no, we didn't.
Okay, well, let me just do this last draw, and then we'll mention it.
Okay.
So
This is the last draw.
This is our last draw. The last game is called Cosmonautica. It looks really fun. It released July 2015. Developer publisher Chasing Carrots. Cosmonautica is a fresh take on space trading in a procedurally generated universe paired with quirky humor for your intergalactic enjoyment. It's currently selling on Steam for $12 Canadian. And this one goes out to number 23, Irishman.
Hey, cool.
So we will make sure that you guys get those games out, and congratulations to our winners. Shalene, how can people have the perks of being automatically entered on the list, and how can people get entered on the list in general?
You can be automatically entered every week for the giveaways by joining our Discord server. To do that, just send us a message on any of our social media channels, Twitter, We Just Love Games, on Facebook, send us an email. We will get you a Discord invitation link, and you will get that automatic entry. Or you can also be entered in these giveaways by being part of our Twitch chat. So just show up 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/We Just Love Games.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kern Jess asks if she can send fax or carrier pigeon. We do not support facts at this time, but carrier
Sorry.
pigeons are an acceptable method of joining the Discord server.
We do take alternative facts, which is emails.
Indeed.
I
Wow.
also accept messages by gold lettering by Chariot.
Write it on the back of $100 bill and mail it
Yes.
to. So she says smoke signals.
Messages in bottles.
Goodness gracious. So I guess it was last fortnight. We had this idea where we would. I started a GoFundMe to get me a new office chair, and it was kind of a joke and kind of serious. I had a few donations, but it was in the category of hopes, dreams, and wishes. And which I'm proud of that. And then the title of it was "Get Rick a New Damn Chair," and I can't figure out which of the two. Like, so anyway, it was up for maybe like a day or so. And the picture of it was my face, and I looked ridiculous, was the profile pic. Anyway, I got a message from GoFundMe, and I was like, oh, yes, somebody else donated. And it's going to say, like, you got $1,000 to get yourself a new chair. But it, in fact, did not say that. It said that your GoFundMe has been found, like, inappropriate or something, and we've canceled it, and the money's been refunded to the donating parties. And I was like, well, come on, you know? And then so I was like, fine, whatever. And then 2 days later, I get an email from GoFundMe again. And they're like, hi, we noticed that you used GoFundMe like 2 days ago. Would you like to take a survey of your experience? And I was like,
Oh my gosh.
yes. Yeah, I think I do. I think I do want to do this. So it like had 2 questions. It was, and if you're just joining us tonight for the first time, it's because my chair has been squeaking since we started podcasting 2 years ago and is just getting worse. And it's like the unofficial 4th host. That's our joke. We always say it's the unofficial 4th host. So now with that backstory, I get to my survey. I've got 2 questions. One is pick one answer. And it was like, how satisfied were you? Satisfied to very dissatisfied. And I picked very dissatisfied. And then it said, like, leave comments of why you feel the way that you feel. So I was like, okay. All right. And this is what I wrote to GoFundMe in their survey that they asked me to take after they canceled my GoFundMe for my hopes, dreams, and wishes for a new chair. I said, it was my dream to have a non-squeaky chair. I know, too, that whoever canceled my GoFundMe was a diehard fan of the podcast I'm on, Gamestack, and loved our 4th unofficial host, said squeaky chair. I smell sabotage. But it's okay, I understand. Something so beloved, it's hard to let go of. However, it's hard to podcast, and all he does is squeak. Nothing constructive said ever during a show. If the chair added something meaningful once in a while instead of just squeaking like an ass, I could understand sabotaging the GoFundMe so he doesn't get replaced. Maybe it wasn't sabotage though. I'm thinking it was the title, Get Rick a New Damn Chair, or maybe the category, Hopes, Dreams, and Wishes. I do know, however, it wasn't the amazing profile picture. And that's what somebody at GoFundMe probably didn't read.
Or somebody at GoFundMe read it and said, hey, Joe, come over. You got to read this review. You got to read this feedback. It's hilarious.
Oh, I haven't seen it on Reddit, so I doubt it.
And then the manager came over and said, why do we cancel that guy?
Because look.
And then they're probably like, I don't know.
So yeah, to my donors, thank you, but the money was for naught, and I still have said squeaky chair.
I'm willing to stick this out and revive this matter. I think we just need to find an alternative method of
Patreon
fund funneling.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
Don't be modest. People want to buy you a new chair. Just let it happen.
Don't.
R.I.P. Rick's chair GoFundMe.
I'll get a new chair one of these days.
We sold out for nothing.
I'll get a beanbag.
So can you just like for the next show take one wheel off so you're like on a slant, and then people will be like, "Wow, we really got to like get this guy a new chair."
So that was the interesting thing there. But well, I actually haven't been in this chair too much this past 2 weeks because I've been out and busy. But when I have got a chance to sit in my squeaky chair, I have played a few video games, and I think last fortnight I said I would finish Hellblade. Didn't I?
Yes, and you did, didn't you?
I did. I sat down and beat it over the weekend. I guess last weekend or the weekend before that. And you're right, it was only like 6 hours long,
Mm.
and it was absolutely glorious, and I'm very glad that I did finish that. The Tuvian throat singing was like awesome when you're in the middle of a boss fight. You're just like,
Right?
Mhm.
Ah,
the biggest thing that I noticed that game did for me, but and no other game did, was first of all, some of those scenes where she's just like screaming her lungs off were just, I could imagine her going home that night like, good night, good guys, good job today, from screaming all day. But the moments where the cutscene would like, you have that part of yourself telling you you'll never make it, you'll suck, and blah blah blah. And then like it like comes to her like getting the courage and the the anger underneath to fight. And I'm thinking of the one bridge scene and the music and the wind's blowing and it just gets out of this cutscene, and with the combat based on how actually good you are. No perks, no nothing. It's just how good you are at the mechanics of the game. It made me just feel like I wanted to wreak vengeance on like, but like that righteous vengeance of like you're avenging your loved one. You're there trying to like it. I remember getting done combat moments and my face loosening from getting this like sheer grit of determination to win. And especially knowing if your rot creeped up your arm and you would die permanently, it was like the screen gets darker, you get knocked down, you got to click real fast to get back up, and
The arm rot is the most terrifying
oh
thing.
my gosh, it got all the way up to my shoulder. I mean,
It is the most terrifying thing, and you look and you're like, oh my god.
yeah, but like the only game that came close to that was Wolfenstein, and only in the sense of Wolfenstein made you ready to kick Nazi ass because they took over your country and the metal music, and you're like, kill them all. And so like, but there was no emotion other than just sheer like just vengeance. But this game was just so much wrapped up in knowing that all you had was one shot to get it right, and you were going into hell to like get to free your lover or whatever. And it was such an experience playing it that I never had before, and I don't think I'll ever have since. Maybe or after. Maybe some game will make me feel that way, but it was absolutely amazing. And that was like really the only game I sat down and like played a lot of. I did play a lot of PUBG. That's right. We did play a lot of PUBG one night. I think it was last Saturday. I was up till 3 a.m.
it was so
Whoa.
fun.
playing PUBG. Yeah. I mean, it was insane. And then I played some Insurgency just to kill some time, and Ghost Recon to kill some time, and, Sea of Thieves, which I know Shalene has a story about Sea of Thieves that we all partook in, which was like some epic thieviness. By the way, the title of this episode, I've been awake since the wee early morning and my brain is fried, and I was trying to say the title of the game to someone, and I ended up saying, I don't know if I'm going to play the Pirates of the Sea of Thieves tonight. And they looked at me like, what? And I was like, I mean, just Sea of Thieves.
Whoa. Shots fired. Shots fired.
So that's why tonight is the Pirates of the Sea of Thieves.
I see.
So, yeah. Vendor, so what have you been playing today or this week?
Absolutely, positively nothing at all.
Okay, so Shalene?
Yep.
Well, this week I did not have time to play anything because I was at the stupid conference. I didn't even have time to check in on my Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. I'm gonna go back tomorrow, and
They're all dead.
they're gonna be like,
What about your Tamagotchi? Did you bring that with you to the
"My
conference?
Tamagotchi died of old age, guys."
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Did you bury him in the backyard?
It got sick, and I couldn't revive him. I couldn't do anything. It was so sad, and I had to watch him like slowly die. And look, like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's his little tiny tombstone. R.I.P. my Tamagotchi, gone but not forgotten.
Rick, can you go back to the OBS? I don't see anything in real time.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Whoop, there we go.
There you go.
Oh no.
Ah,
No.
Oh.
dead.
So So,
ForNoSnames.com.
but I did play with you guys last
Weapons.
week. And we played Amnesia, The Dark Descent on stream. That was super fun.
That was entertaining to
It was
watch.
incredibly scary.
That
It
was
was
awesome.
so scary.
You screamed once, and that was amazing.
I did scream. It was scary, guys. It was scary,
So
and I
good.
was scared. I thought it gave me a gray hair. I
It's
want to finish, but I don't want to finish. Like, I'm probably going to uninstall it and never go back.
you uninstall, and the next time you restart, it's reinstalled. And you're like,
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
it just
don't
like
even
installed
say
itself.
that. Don't even say that.
it did give me somewhat of a nightmare.
Did it really?
Only in the sense that I already have an innate fear of like being stalked and not being able legally to do anything about solving it. So that was my dream. Somebody was stalking me and I couldn't legally get them away from me. And it was like this.
You've always had a fear of being stalked, huh?
Yeah. So like this game is like the epitome of that. You're constantly being stalked in this game.
How funny. Well, I was scared and I screamed and Rick laughed. The Dark Descent. But after we finished playing that, we picked up Sea of Thieves, and it was a lot of fun. And we found this chest, and I didn't know that this was a game mechanic. It was, what was it called? Like the Chest of Sorrow?
Yeah.
And it cries, you guys. It gets sad and it cries. So the tears that come from this chest fill your boat with water. They actually fill your boat with water. So you've got to bail out the boat.
Oh God.
I had the chest, so I just clung to the ladder on the side of the ship with the chest on my back. So the tears were going in the ocean.
Oh no.
As we sailed around, I'm just clinging to the ladder. And then Amy came by and played it a song and made it feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that they did that. That's the kind of thing that I love so much about this game. That's so fun.
Yeah. I always have fun. Doesn't matter how much the game is lacking right now. I still always have fun.
Yeah.
Good.
Wait till you find the keg of grog, Shirley, in that one's.
Really?
You're instantly drunk when you pick it up.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh no.
You're like walking around like this, trying
to get back
I
to the
can't get
boat.
to the ship.
Can't wait. Let's play Pirates after the show.
I have Guinness. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yes. So we had this quest. It was myself and Rick and the rest of Moose Team 4 Sans Vendertron playing Sea of Thieves, and we had this quest. We gathered up a bunch of chests and a skull. We had 6 chests, I believe.
Yeah, it was about that, and that, but it wasn't just as a skull. It was like the highest skull you can get, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was some good loot. And this ship with black sails starts to chase us. And so we're kind of scared because we have all this amazing loot. We really want to get back and sell this stuff and not lose it to these pirates. And they're chasing us. And Steamer's driving the boat. The rest of us are running sails. And it got so tense, you guys. We weren't even having fun anymore. We were just like, we were at war. You know, we were doing the ship. Everybody has a job. Everybody's doing their job. We're just quietly, you know, adjusting sails and steering the ship. And we're trying to outstrip this other ship, and we can't. And they would come up. They would fire some cannonballs. I think they hit us once or twice. So we would have to go down and repair the ship.
Yeah, we were getting like out of map range, and then we had to like turn around, but we were against the wind. They would get in gun range and then hit us like once or twice, and then we'd catch, get ahead of them.
That was entertaining.
That was
So
amazing.
finally we decide we get near an outpost. We decide to circle the outpost and just grab a chest and jump off and swim to the outpost while Steam just drives the ship around. And it was a good plan, and it started out working really well. We got 3 of the chests to land and sold, but then he grounded the ship. He ran the ship aground. And it was all over from there.
Yeah.
They filled us full of cannonballs while we were still, and our ship went down. I went back. I grabbed the skull off the shelf, and I was like trying to swim underwater, trying to like sneak to the island to get this skull. But they saw me and they killed me, and I was sad. But it was a really fun encounter. We ran from these guys for probably, I don't know, probably 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 30 to 40 minutes. We were like fighting these guys.
It was intense.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
We did get like a bunch of them cached though.
We got half of them cached. We got 3 of the chests cached. So we lost 2 or 3 chests and the skull.
Yep.
So, but we got the more expensive chests cached. So
We did.
Not a total loss.
Nope. Still like
We also played
$5,000.
some PUBG squads, and that was fun. And we were moving toward the center of the circle on Miramar. And so
was Vendor, were you there for this?
I don't think he was.
No, I only popped in to watch the new war map thing, whatever it was.
Oh, that's right. Right.
You and me and 4 Mile and Steam,
Oh, that's
aka Chili Moose, Chili. And we were on Miramar. We were very far outside of the circle. And Steam and 4 Mile find a motorcycle and get on. And they're thinking, okay, he'll go drop her off in the circle and come back for us. But then Rick finds a van. He's like, hey, no problem. We found a van. So I get in the van with Rick, and we're cruising, and we find a second van. So Chili Moose and 4 Mile get in the second van so that we'll have similar speeds.
yeah.
And we're driving, and we find a third van. So I get out and I drive the third van.
Oh, no. Just a big convoy.
It's a convoy of many VW bugs or VW vans.
Rolling in these microbus, Volkswagen microbus caravan convoy.
2 miles an hour.
Just uphill all the way. It
Both ways.
It was so funny. And we're going, and these people attack us on motorcycles, and Rick just like slams into him in the
I would imagine that they couldn't attack you because they were going too fast.
No, what happened was like they were on bikes and they attacked us, and Steamer plows into them on the bikes and runs over them, and then I follow him and run over them again. But I didn't know this, but Steamer jumps out of his van and I run over Steamer.
Yes, it was very sad. Very sad indeed.
But we killed him.
And so we get back in the vans and we're driving, and my van runs out of gas. So the guys are like, well, Shalene, where are you? Like, why? Come on, it's over here. And I'm like, I'm out of gas, you guys. So I jump out, and I happen to find a motorcycle on the way. So I'm like, it's fine, guys. I'll take this motorcycle. And I'm just driving in circles around them.
Oh my gosh.
As we go. It was the most fun. Oh, and we also got 3 loot drops in one match.
We did.
It was cool. Steam found one that no one had claimed yet. And I don't know how nobody had seen this, but he runs and grabs the loot out of this. And right after that, 2 more crates drop from the sky next to each other, right next to us. So we grab the loot out of these boxes, and we have all this amazing loot. It did not help us get chicken, however, but we had a really fun time. It was totally worth it.
We got close.
And, now that I'm home, I can't wait to play God of War. My copy of God of War came in. Hooray.
Nice.
It came in early yesterday afternoon, and I wasn't home to play it. I was like, grr. I was so bugged.
So tell me, what makes you so excited to play it?
It looks really good. I really dig Norse mythology and Vikings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. And it just looks like a very good game. I haven't played any of the previous games. I don't know if it's very much like the previous games. but I'm just very intrigued by the trailers. It looks like a very fun game to play, and I think that I'm going to be very into it. So we will find out. Can't wait to play.
Awesome.
It's gotten really good reviews so
Yes,
far.
it has. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited to hear your report.
There's a lot of hype on the social media.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It looks like they've done good work. So it kind of reminds me of Hellblade, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of why I was so hyped to play it, because it sort of reminded me of Hellblade.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to. I mean, now that I'm in the PlayStation family, I'm excited to see if it's good because I might grab it too if it is, if it's worth
Indeed.
it. So yeah, that's. I think that wraps up our gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I just wanted to mention something a little bit about my ARC experience this past couple weeks. So
oh yeah.
as you guys know, Jess and I used to have an ARC server through uhost Pro. uhost Pro is this great company. They provided ARC servers, all types of different servers for Minecraft and other video games. They apparently sent out an email, which I never received, 7 days notice, saying that the servers were going to be shut down and the company is going out of business because they're being bought out by I can't remember the name of the company. It's some Russian company, server company. Nexid gone. I can't remember. Anyways, 4 Mile had sent me a message and she said, "Oh, can you take a look at the server? It hasn't been up for a couple of days and I don't know what's going on." So I went in and I tried to restart it. Couldn't access the control panel. I'm like, what the heck? So I sign into the client area and I log a ticket to the server manager. And I'm like, no response for like a day or so. I'm like, what the hell? So I go back to the client area, still nothing. Hasn't responded to my ticket at all. I scroll down to the bottom of the client area page, and there's a notice that says under an announcement tab at the bottom of the web page that says, the server will be shut down. This is your 7 days working notice, and although we're being bought out by this company, and everything will be switched over to there if you are able to back up your stuff in time to your computer.
That is awful.
And I'm seeing this 2 days after the deadline.
So everything is gone?
So everything is gone. We probably put about 100, 200 hours in on this server building Nitrado. Thank you, Jess. I'm very disappointed because one, uhost was actually a really good company and they were very supportive, but their execution on communicating this business endeavor or this transition was absolutely terrible. They should have provided at least a month's working notice. They should have also made sure that announcement was in big red letters above the webpage.
Oh man.
What is so funny?
You announcement? Like, it's just your salt. Like, I love the salt in that movement.
Anyways.
R.I.P. Dart.
So yes, R.I.P. Dart, R.I.P. all of the lovely dinos, our boats, everything that we found so much joy in is all gone.
Dragons.
That was their their
dragons
asteroid.
that I spent 3 days breeding.
Yeah.
Setting my alarm to wake up in the middle of the night.
Good times. Good times.
Going into work late, exhausted.
Jess does say in the chat, but you get a free $5 credit to Nitrado.
Yeah, that's great. I don't really like signing into my server area and everything is in Russian, so
Hard
and
to
you
read.
You can't convert it to English because you don't know where Russian says English.
Hey, are you being salty or are you serious?
I'm serious because I already tried.
Goodness. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Hey, Archon just joined us.
So the bottom line is
Oh, you're done?
we're starting from scratch. I don't know if I'm gonna start up another ARC server.
Oh man.
things are really on the line right now for school and work in terms of money. So I really need to be careful about how I spend my money. And you know, a $30 a month bill is just something that I don't think I can no longer do. So yeah, it comes with a heavy heart. I'm very, very disappointed. That was like the one game that I found true enjoyment in these last it's gotten me through the winter, literally.
Wow.
So
Do you
So sorry to hear that.
are either of you familiar with The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yes.
yes.
So what you were saying about where the announcement was reminded me of the quote where like he's complaining about the plans for the interstate to demolish his house.
Mhm.
And he's like, but the plans, but the guy's like, the plans were on display. So he's like, on display? I eventually
Yeah,
had to
they've
go
been-
down to the cellar to find them. Well, that's the
They've been
display.
on the display
He's
at
like-
the planning office for 3 years.
He's like, that's the display department? He's like, that's the display department with a flashlight. Ah, well, the
Yeah.
lights had probably gone. So had the stairs. But look, you found the notice, didn't you? Yes, said Arthur. Yes, I did. It was on display in the bottom of a locked filing cabinet stuck in a disused lavatory with a sign on the door saying, beware of the leopard.
Yeah.
I feel
That's
like
literally what it was. And so I
How government works.
I tweeted you host and I said, like, what's going on? Like, how am I only hearing about this now? Not only did I not get the email, but you have this tiny little notice that I have to scroll down to the bottom of your webpage to see. Are you kidding me? And they were like, oh, we sent out an email. If you didn't get it, like, that's not our fault. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. You know why? Because it doesn't matter. It's not going to make any bit of difference.
Mother Russia.
So
Well,
it's a lesson learned for me. If I ever have a server, then I need to not only back it up on the server itself, but back it up on my own system.
everything must end, I guess, at some point.
Terrible.
It was very abrupt, though.
Yeah, that was kind of an abrupt one. But we do have a lighter note coming your way. We do. Our challenge from last 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yes. Last time here on Gamestack Podcast, we asked you guys to channel your inner Ansel Adams and send us some beautiful video game
I don't even know who
landscapes.
Ansel Adams is, but we have
Okay.
landscapes.
Channel your inner Bob Ross.
There we go. I know that. But we had people go ahead and do that. So this is our first one, and I cannot see very well.
Oh, no.
So this is from Alex. This
Alex.
is from Alex. At We Just Love Games, weather has warmed up, so I'm not playing as many games. So my Gamestack challenge this week is from our camping trip last weekend, and then 2 of Adventure Baby in her bike trailer earlier today. Oh, so this is from like IRL.
How lovely.
Yeah.
Alex delivers with baby pictures.
Yes, she
Yes,
does.
we love the baby pictures. Keep them coming.
Mhm.
Then we have this one's from Captain Bones. He says so much beauty scattered across this harsh landscape. Fallout 4, actually.
Nice.
That's a good image.
Wow, you're really spreading your wings, getting away from GTA.
Yeah. Anyway,
Black and white. It's sort of a broken down highway with an old busted up Corvega on it and some trees. Very nice.
this makes me wonder. I wonder if there's a black and white mod to play Fallout in.
I think
That would be fun. I plan on watching some black and white movies this weekend. That's going to be my indulgence.
Your way of coping after a crazy long week.
Yep.
So this next one is from No Person. Limus646. I think I saw them in the chat. Yes, Limus646 is in our chat. At We Just Love Games. We're in a Game of Thrones winter up here, so the fiery plains of Oblivion look quite appealing. You know, the Oblivion plain was one of my favorite places to kind of go in Oblivion. It was such a unique and that was so much fun playing Oblivion. Did you guys ever play Oblivion?
No, but I was
Oh.
just going to say Limit 646 must be Canadian. I sense it. I sense it in my blood. Blood of my blood.
I have played Oblivion up to the death of Patrick Stewart like 6 times. I can never get past that.
It's like 5 minutes into the game.
I know.
It literally happens before you
I
can.
know. I escape the sewer and get like out into the world, and I'm done.
And you're like, done.
I don't want to exist in a world without Patrick Stewart in it. So.
Oh goodness.
Jeez. This one is from somebody, it was a weird guy. Oh, Vendertron. Loving. Sorry. Do you want to read this one then? Since it's yours?
Sure. Yeah, this is mine. I said loving Ghosts of a Tale, and I can't wait to get back to it after final exams.
What's Ghost of a Tale?
Ghost of a Tale is this beautiful little indie game about a mouse who has lost his wife, and he's trying to find her. And he is in a world amongst rats and other mice. It's very Secret of Nim inspired, and the graphics are absolutely beautiful, and it's full of puzzles. It's a very peaceful game. It's very enjoyable. I recommend that you guys check it out.
Awesome. Great. And do we have another? We do. This is from Mousetrap. My submissions for the game. Oh, excuse me, hiccups. For the Gamestack challenge that We Just Love Games. This game is so gorgeous. Hashtag Far Cry 5. And yes, this game is
Mousetrap
gorgeous.
has been posting screenshots in the Discord, and I actually thought they were photographs.
Me too. I have to like zoom in on my screen and like look harder.
I really want Far Cry 5, guys. Like, I really, really, really want Far Cry 5.
I understand that it is a co-op game.
Yes, it is. And it's hysterical. Like, do you know how you heal the dog?
Oh, what is this? What?
You have a dog companion like in Fallout 4, but instead of stabbing him in the face or wherever you're at with a needle, you give him belly rubs.
Oh.
And you can have a pet companion bear you can sick on baddies.
Yeah, what about that? Hey, stabbing dog meat with a giant stim pack.
I love you,
Yeah.
dog meat. Let me hear you.
Yeah, but I don't know why you have to jab it in there, man.
I know. It's so vulgar.
I guess they watched Saving Private Ryan with like the morphine. Thwack! But I really want to play Far Cry 5 for the physics glitches and the gorgeousness of the game, and plus take out some fanatics. Yeah, man. That's.
Did you guys see the deer GIF that I posted?
Yes, that's what I mean. It's full of those physics
Oh,
glitches,
man,
and
it's
like
so bad.
oh gosh, I'd want to play that game so bad. So yeah, our next one is from Pantagruelia, taking refuge at my gorilla sanctuary on Spectacle Island while I wait for the winter weather to come to an end. I sense another Canadian. We just love games. Hashtag Ocanera and Fallout 4 and hashtag Gamestack Challenge. Is this a mod? Because I didn't think you could get gorillas.
No, the gorilla traps.
What?
You can trap.
Oh yeah. With the what's that expansion pack, the DLC?
Oh yeah, your contraptions.
Wasteland Workshop.
Wasteland Workshop.
But you
It
know
was in
what?
Wasteland Workshop. When they made the traps, we did the challenge for the fighting pits.
Oh, they
You know-
got. That's right. That's right.
That was okay. So
And they
doing
made the lean trap where you put Kims in there.
doing doing the challenges as the DLC came out was some of the funnest challenges I've done.
They were so
I
good.
I spent so much time preparing for those challenges.
You did. You did. A lot of people did. I
A lot of people put in a lot of work, like building the arenas.
Yes. I'm
That
like,
was
here's
so-
a platform, and then
Yeah.
someone else had like these like multi-tiered. What we still didn't see in this game yet, and I'm actually kind of waiting for this, guys, is iguana traps. Yep.
Yeah, we got to see some iguanas first.
Yeah.
Squirrel traps. Where's the squirrel traps?
Yeah, those two, and we're back at the beginning. So yeah,
Well, that was fun.
thank you so much for those challenge entries. They were amazing. Now,
Guys, I forgot to plan one for next
I
fortnight.
was about to ask.
Oh,
what our
well, let's
next one
plan the
was.
show on the show. I mean, that's what we do usually, right?
You.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
But no, wait. We had two from last week. We did.
Right.
Create a monster. That was it. That's
Right.
our challenge.
Right.
Any game that has a character creator, just create an outlandish, ridiculous character.
A monster character.
Mhm.
Yeah. there we
Okay, I can do that. I'm just gonna fire up Ark, and
go. Oh gosh.
because their character creator is just so good.
Oh yeah, you could make a Neanderthal of a guy.
Another
Or
place
girl.
where you can do some really special things is Nintendo with the Mii's.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah, I now and again I'm on the Mario Kart podcast, the ASA Podcasting Mario Kart podcast.
Mhm.
And Kara, who is one of the hosts, just makes the most ridiculous memes. I love them so much. So much.
I still liked the slasher dude that we made in Fallout 4 with his nasty wife.
Yes, I still have those screenshots saved
Oh
somewhere.
my God. I can't remember his name. I can't remember.
Incredible.
But yeah, so that's next week. No, next fortnight. So not next week, but the week after. That's the challenge. Make a monster. And don't forget to post it at our Twitter account, twitter.com/WeJustLoveGames. #Gamestack Challenge.
Yes, and I will be in sunny Phoenix. And so I will not be on the next show.
Oh, we're gonna miss you.
Woo! I mean, darn.
So I'm sure it'll be a really good show.
Who knows what we're going to do?
That's right. Yeah, we haven't planned that far.
No, we never do. We never do. We plan like the minute before. No, it's not that bad.
I
No, a lot of thought.
writing show notes
A lot of thought goes into the show.
before we went live.
No,
A
no,
lot of
no.
it
We
does.
spend hours planning the show. That's what makes it as good as it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's I think that's going to be a very interesting challenge when we see some of our submissions. But we're not done yet. We have a special segment.
Yeah, we do.
There's been a hashtag trending on Twitters, the Twitters. Hashtag
On the interwebs.
on the interwebs with all those Pokemans. GameStruck 4, hashtag GameStruck 4, and basically it's the top 4 games that influenced you, not your top 4 favorite or not the top 4 that you dig or whatever. It's top 4 games that influenced you, and I guess that could be bad or good. And I'm really curious to see what you guys pick, because I was with my wife and a buddy of mine at the dinner table, and we kind of were like, oh, that's a good question. What 4 games do influence us? And I could think of 3, and I'm going to try to wing it for a 4th one here. But Vendor, why don't you take it away, man? What you got?
Okay, so I'm going to kind of go in chronological order here. Super Mario Brothers is the first real exposure for me to video games, and that was really kind of the landmark video game for me in terms of just falling in love with video games. I was very young, but very eager to play and very good at the game. And I used to play it with 4 Mile when we were little.
Oh,
Yeah. So on the old, those wooden TVs, the
Yeah.
wooden frames TVs. Yeah. And the cord was never long enough. So we had to sit like 5 inches in front of the screen.
Where you had to like get up and go crank the dial to change the channel.
And you'd be playing for so long that your knees would get sore because you're like kneeling on the carpet.
is it on
Yeah.
channel 2 or 3? Is it on channel 2 or 3?
Yeah, yeah. And then, Dad would get home and it would be time to watch hockey because Canada,
Yes.
and everybody would be mad because, we'd have to shut the console off. And
Mhm.
so that was kind of the defining moment for video games for me to start. The second game that comes to mind is The Sims.
Huh.
Yeah, The Sims was probably the first PC video game that I had played that was like totally revolutionary. The building. I mean, you guys know that I have this Sims book, right?
What?
What?
Yeah, I have this book here somewhere. I don't remember where it went.
I'm so intrigued. We're gonna wait until he finds
Yeah.
it.
The Sims
So
book?
intrigued.
I don't know where it went, you guys. I'll have to find it later for you, but I have this coil like book, like a coil duotang. And inside it, my dad found it like last year. Inside it is architectural drawings of houses that I was building in The Sims when I was like 10.
I think that we actually featured that book on KDR last year.
Yes, we did. That's right, we did. And so if I find it, I'm gonna scan some of them and post them to Twitter so you guys can see. But like that just goes to show you how involved with this game I was. And I mean, Jess could probably speak to that. I mean, we were still drawing our plans out on paper for ARC.
That's amazing.
Did you say a coiled dutang? What?
Duotang. Like a duotang, like a coil book. Like Scribbler book. I don't know what they call them. These kids nowadays.
Spiral notebook?
Yes.
Oh, that's a what the
I don't know. Don't ask questions. Just know that I drew my architectural designs in the book. So that was cool. I really enjoyed The Sims. GTA Vice City. Huge defining moment for me on PlayStation. And this was on PlayStation 2.
Yes.
If I recall.
Yes, it was.
And
Vice City was awesome.
Vice City was so awesome.
Still is.
It is still an awesome game. The music in that game is like just so amazing. It is still so amazing. I used to drive the cab for hours and just drive people around. And you like drive long enough and you make $100, you get like an achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And the last game that struck me was Fallout 3, and this really came at an important moment in my life because I had, I guess you could say, sort of started to mature in a way that I was trying to meet expectations of other people, and so I had kind of given up on gaming. I set that part of my life kind of aside. And Tank Boom, who is a avid listener of the show as well, she's one of my really good friends. And she has always been into video games. And I went over to hang out with her one day and she was playing Fallout 3. And I was like, what is this game? She's like, oh, it's Fallout. Like, you got to play it. It's so good. And I'm like, and I'm watching her play it. Well, 4 hours went by and I didn't even notice. I was still sitting there watching her. And I was just amazed at how amazing this game was. The quests, the like engaging with the people. Like, I had never had that sort of exposure to that type of game before. And so I immediately rushed to the nearest GameStop and bought Fallout 3. And she actually sold me her old PS3, which I have sitting right in front of me. I've rebuilt it twice now. It still runs like a gem. It's actually more beefy than my PS4.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got a 1 terabyte solid state in it. But I played Fallout 3 on that numerous times, and then I moved to Fallout New Vegas and played that numerous times as well. So that was a real defining game for me because it brought me back into gaming, which naturally is where I found your guys' show, and kind of the rest is history.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. While you were saying that, we had some people pipe up in the chat, and I actually was thinking about doing it, but I forgot to. If you're in the chat and you want to throw us your 4, we'll read them off.
Yeah, so what have we got?
So Josh Neurotic says EverQuest, Oregon Trail, Final Fantasy VII, and Duck Hunt. And, I was going through this list, and I forgot about Final Fantasy VII. And that's why this is so hard, because I loved Final Fantasy VII. Mousetrap says Medal of Honor Frontline, Madagascar, Skyrim, and Fallout 3. I'm not quite sure what Madagascar is. I'm wondering if that is related to the cartoon. So he says Fallout 3, even though it's not my fave. Sean Aiken says Knights of the Old Republic, GTA 3, Fallout 3, and Red Dead Redemption. Limus646, Fallout 3, Doom, Oblivion, and Majora's Mask. And now that's making me think of Ocanera of Time and how Ocarina, whatever. I just pass by.
No.
Ocarina. Is
One
it
does not
Ocarina?
simply pass this by.
Damn it. Anyway, Ocarina.
That's up there with Mem.
What is this Wi-Fi?
Tomato. Archin says Duck Hunt, The Incredible Machine, Civilization 2, and Halo. And Mousetrap says, yes, Rick, it is related to the movie. This is... my face is turning red. Ocarina.
What the hell? Are you a synth?
It's a glitch in the Matrix, man.
Oh, man. Ocarina.
I would like to change the title of this podcast
My jaw hurts, not for the good reason.
to the Ocanera of Time.
I'm crying.
Episode 14, Ocanera of Time.
Well, why don't we say just what's Rick's recall code?
Oh man.
I love the Macarena of Time. This is why we do the show.
Oh, good God. Wow. That was way funnier than it should have been.
Yeah. Oh, she's doing the fan thing. Oh my.
Oh no.
Mousetrap says Ocarina of Time.
Hey, I'm not from Blink-182 here.
Wow. That was fantastic.
And Ocanera walks into a Panera. God.
So, Rick,
This is gonna go for a while.
Yeah, this is the new cat.
Yeah.
At least this is funnier.
Besides Ocanera of Time, Rick, let's roll into yours.
So, I know I've got 3. I'm kind of forgetting them now that I've been thinking about it. But I do know that I'm not going to go in chronological order. Actually, no. The first one on my mind is Resident Evil 3. And it's not my favorite Resident Evil, but it was the first one I played at a very influential age. And, like, I was very sheltered playing video games. Like, my mom had a problem with GoldenEye because of the red splotches that would show up when you shot somebody.
Oh, gosh.
And,
but what about Natalia? Natalia!
with the triangle boobs.
With the triangle chest.
So, like, you poke your eye out, kid. Anyway, so...
Shoot your eye out.
So, yeah, Limit 646 stars. Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. So, what happened was I went over to my cousin's house and he's like, "Hey, have you ever played Resident Evil?" And I'm like 12 or 13 or something. So, no. And so he lets me play like Resident Evil 3. Now, he did put in like a cheat code unbeknownst to me where I had like the minigun with unlimited ammo. But like I didn't know what I was doing, you know, I just played the game anyway. And I remember that game just blowing my mind for what games could do. Because up until that point, it was like Mario 64, Star Fox, Yoshi's Story, and then Resident Evil 3. And I was like, government conspiracy, zombies, the end of the world, schwa? And that was amazing for me. The other game that meant a lot to me, influenced me, was Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, right. You've talked about this before.
And not only did I love it to death, but it also just the sheer, like, you know, the things that, like, that was my first experience of, like, calling the helpline to Nintendo to figure out what the frick, how to get that ice key, and to come to find out, oh, the developers just never finished coding whatever that thing was. And being
that's
like,
amazing.
what? Like,
That's horrible.
there were so many connections to what it was supposed to be and it was just like it blew my young mind that like there were things that were supposed to tie in, but because for some reason they left it out, and like I just didn't know any of this would ever happen. And yeah, there I was standing in the ice level watching the key spin around behind an ice.
I don't know if I should be more amazed at the fact that you had the motivation to call the company to ask that question, or that the company had like a helpline.
Oh yeah, Nintendo 1-800. It still works. You can call, like, literally somebody just called the Nintendo helpline on the back of their NES, and the person helped them fix their NES.
Well, that's different. I'm talking about like helping navigate through video. Like nowadays, you just Google it, right? Somebody out there has figured it out.
But back then, you know, you had your guide, you had the guide, and then you had the tip line.
That was your only choice if you got really stuck and didn't have someone to help you play past it.
These kids these days, they have it so easy.
I know, just Google.
You just Google it. You know, back in my day when we played Mario Brothers on N64, there was no guide you could Google. No. You had to spend hours just looking for one star.
So Banjo-Kazooie, that was one of them. I guess technically the ice key was in Banjo-Tooie. I can't remember. No, was it Banjo? Anyway, but Banjo-Kazooie was very influential in my life. And then the other one was Guitar Hero.
Oh
And
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
sounds ridiculous, but honestly, a lot of my wife's relationship was built upon Guitar Hero and me being a total dink because I was so selfish. I wouldn't share the guitar to Guitar Hero. So my wife, being the awesome person she was, got so good at using the controller that she beat me every time.
Wow.
And
Vindication, if
yeah,
ever there was.
that's my wife. And so, but I mean, that was the only game I was ever in a competition for, and so it meant a lot to, like, you know, our relationship and then just me in general.
That's cool. So that's
Yeah.
a very significant moment for
It is like it
not
just.
just gaming for you, but for your relationship.
Oh yeah, totally. And I can't think of a fourth one. It's been really difficult to think of like a fourth influential game that really kind of stuck with me. I think
Sea of Thieves?
no. I think I'm gonna have to go with Final Fantasy VII now that I'm really thinking about that, because that was the first like turn-based RPG I had ever played. I had never played any RPGs before that. That was my first one.
Mm-hmm.
And so that love triangle between Tifa, Ares, and Cloud was just on another level for me.
I'm really surprised you didn't say Guild Wars.
No, I mean, that game, it's fun, but it's one of those games, as much as I enjoy it, I do find myself, like, there's times where I go to play a game, and I'm like, I should play Guild Wars because I know I like it, but I end up playing something else and being totally bored. So it wasn't very influential, but it is fun to play. And the same thing with Fallout. It was so hard to not pick a Fallout. You know what I mean? They
Well,
weren't.
that's the thing, right? Like I was going sequentially here. If I kept going, the next game for me would be Ark, because that's where I really kind of discovered, online gaming and made friends with Jess, who's in the chat right now, and all these amazing people on the interwebs.
But yeah, so it was hard for me not to pick Fallout because it was an important game in my life. Did it influence me and make me think certain ways? Not really. It just kind of fit in with everything else I was already into in a very good way. So yeah. So that's my four. What about you, Shalene?
This was really hard to do, making this list. I've got it scribbled here on a piece of porn motel stationery. I'm also going sequentially, and disclaimer, these are not my favorite games. They are the games that I feel influenced who I am as a gamer. The first one on my list is Pitfall, which was an old Atari game.
2600, yeah.
Yes, in which you jump over pits and swing from trees and jump over crocodiles.
I loved Pitfall.
Pitfall is so good. And Pitfall was the first game that really gave me a sense of adventure. When I played Pitfall, I felt like Indiana Jones.
Dun, 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 dun.
There was something very special about the way that Pitfall made me feel. You know, like I was this cool person having an actual adventure, and that's why Pitfall opens up the list. It was the first. I'd had fun playing other games, but this was the first one that really showed me how games can change the way you feel about yourself.
Yeah, great. Okay, so what's next on the list?
Donkey Kong 64.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Getting all them gold bananas.
Absolutely. Donkey Kong 64 is not a game that has been kindly remembered by time, but I loved it. I loved Donkey Kong 64. I had the jungle green in 64 and my banana yellow cartridge. It was so good. And this game is the game that gave me a love of sort of the open world, because it had this overworld where you could explore, and there were secrets hidden in this overworld, in these islands before you went into the levels. And it also is the game that first gave me a love of collecting stuff. This game is a collectathon. There are bananas in like 6 different colors to collect. You can only collect them as certain characters. There are coins. Some of the coins are in special colors, so you can only collect them as certain characters. And I had all of them. Let me tell you what, I had them all. And I knew those islands inside and out. So that helped shape who I am as a gamer. The third one is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And this was sort of the first modern game that brought me back into the fold of being a gamer. I missed an entire generation of gaming between N64 and the Wii era. I never had an Xbox. I never had a PlayStation or a PlayStation 2. I just missed that whole segment of gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came back, it was Twilight Princess that brought me back in.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have some very fond feelings toward Twilight Princess. And the fourth game on my list is Halo 3. Now, during these dark times when I was not playing games, I used to actually hang out in the lobby at the dorms and watch the guys in there play Halo, Halo 1 and Halo 2 all the time. And Halo 3 was the first Halo that I played. I had watched it so much. And when Halo 3 came out, I played that. And Halo 3 taught me how to love a linear story game. And
Wow.
also shooters. It was one of the first shooters that I really got good at. And I made a lot of really special friends playing Halo 3. It was the game, I guess, that got me into achievement hunting. Because of those, I wanted the recon armor so bad. So I was doing all those Vidmaster achievements.
Oh my gosh, they were tough.
People on message boards to do Vidmaster achievements. Yeah, it was
Wow.
really, Halo 3, very special game to me. And yeah.
Cool. So
Awesome.
so if people want to share their GameStruck 4 stories with us, how can they do that?
Well, just tweet at us at We Just Love Games and make sure to have the hashtag GameStruck4 to be a part of the whole thing. But yeah, so just tag us in it when you tweet that out too. So we are going to move on to listener emails. Oh, you could also, if you want to, email us and we'll shout it out on next show because I think that'd be interesting. And you can email us at info@wejustlovegames.com.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, speaking of emails, we have some listener emails, tweets, and more. So Shalene, do you want to take the first one?
Sure. This is mostly directed towards Shalene, seeing as I emailed her way back during Fallout OTR. But I think now is the best time to discuss the positive side of video games, given the scapegoating the industry is receiving. Way back then, I suggested you guys discuss the aspects of fictional stories told through video games to reflect sociological, cultural themes in reality. Specifically at that time, various factions within Fallout accurately reflect various sentiments in our culture, e.g., the Railroad believes synths to be conscious beings with free thought will could be an allegory for empathy toward various groups, or the Institute believing these people can be reprogrammed to fit their means. Obviously, this goes beyond Fallout. Any game could be making these statements. And while the themes could reflect negative aspects of our culture, they are still instigating a conversation about the issues. Hope you consider it. Let me know if you'd like some analysis on my end from listener Matt Ray. Now, Matt is a longtime listener, and he sent this in like years ago, and I'm sorry I never read it on the show. But he's a very smart gentleman, and I'm not sure I have a ton to add to this, but I'm glad that Vendertron is here because I feel like you're the one who thinks this way.
Oh, wow. Well, that's I'll take that as a compliment.
It is.
I don't know. I think that the gaming industry has a lot of power when it comes to influencing how people think and apply the way they play video games in their own life. Not to go into deep political things here, but there's a lot of my own gameplay in Fallout that I see reflected in my own life. Like how I collect things and organize them really reflects how I collect and organize things. That's just scratching the surface. But I think, if you go deeper and we, start to reflect on socioeconomical factors and sociological cultural themes, that's what I find so interesting about watching other people play video games. It's because you really get their perspective rather than your own. And it tells a lot about a person, I think.
The fact that you're saying that, and when I think about all the times in Fallout where, an NPC was like, I know I did something terrible, but please forgive me. And my character was like, all right, that's fine. They turn to walk away, and I'm like, makes me kind of go.
That says a lot about a person.
Just like how quick I was to put down someone bad, not show any mercy in those games. I was always nice to people and tried to do right by them.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that when I played, I played a little bit of New Vegas the other night, and I was doing the, the well clearing. For the first time, I think in forever, the girl died by the geckos. And then when I helped Ringo, Ringo died from the powder gangers. This was the first time any of that happened. And I was like, what?
Ringo could die.
Yeah. And I was like, man, what a bummer. Just how much I really still root for the good guy, but I'm merciless against bad guys. So that is interesting and kind of think about. Thank you,
another really good example. Sorry, just another really good example of this is when I played Ark with Fuhu. So Fuhu is a past guest on Katie Radio.
Yep.
And he's an Englishman. He lives in the UK with his wife and kids. And in the UK, everything is very compact. And when we played Ark, that was the first thing that I noticed. I'm like, your house is just so congested and small and tiny. And I was building this giant fortress, right? And it's totally a reflection of the culture here. Versus European culture, houses are very small, and I've seen the same thing with a Dutch streamer that goes by the name of Flaunty17. He was playing on an Ark server with us one time, and all of his houses were just so tiny, and we had these massive barns, and he was like, "What? My house is huge," and we're like, "No, it's actually really small." Oh, it's totally all perspective.
Yeah. And the games give us the freedom.
Fallout New Vegas is a really good example of this. It's, you have the militarization of the NCR. You have the Brotherhood of Steel is almost a terrorist faction in New Vegas. You can support an independent Vegas, where everybody sort of minds their business. You've got the cons, which sort of represent some of the fringes of society. Mm-hmm. They're basically an outlaw biker gang, Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is really
that was one of the things that I really loved about Fallout New Vegas was that it was very politically detailed.
You were making choices you didn't even know you were making.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I think some of that was lost in Fallout 4. Just because the main storyline was a little bit too overpowering.
Good choice, bad choice, neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so that was a good email.
I don't know. I found it frustrating, Fallout 4, the focus on the story. They seem to want to make a better story, but in doing that, they destroyed any semblance of role playing.
Mm-hmm.
By giving you this very defined identity in Fallout 4. I didn't like that. I prefer the freedom of choosing who you are in a possessed.
Yep.
Well, I don't think we answered Matt's question at all, but
no.
we love you. And you're much smarter than we are. And keep thinking smart thoughts. Okay, buddy?
So, Vendor, do you want to take the next email or do you want me to do it?
Sure. Okay. The next email comes from Will. He says, "Hey, gang, I just listened to the episode where you briefly brought up the topic of gaming company stock. I think it's a topic that deserves more attention. Stocks are themselves a sort of game anyway. I started getting stocks in place of pre-orders. And in the case of Red Dead 2, my early investment literally paid for the game. Huh. Also, because larger publishers only speak money, voting with stocks speaks louder than game sales." That is a very good point.
Interesting.
Take, for instance, the Star Wars Battlefront 2 fiasco. Only got larger media attention when its stock plummeted. Question time. What game companies, big or small, would you want shares in or stand behind? So personally for me, I wouldn't, coming from the guy who has pot stocks, I wouldn't really invest in game stocks just because they're so volatile. But yeah, that's my take.
In terms of like standing behind them, a company that I would want to, if they were publicly traded, would be the developers behind Hellblade, Ninja Theory.
Yeah.
I would support what they're doing.
Rare. Yeah. I wonder if they're making a spin-off.
I have no idea.
It'd be interesting. Maybe we should all buy shares in Rare. They're not publicly traded. I think we've talked about this before.
Next question.
Oh, right. I guess I should read the next one. I'm like looking at stocks now.
My EA stock is worth $120.89.
Would you buy
So
that?
it went up a bit.
It went up a bit since last fortnight. It's still down from the highest it's been since I've owned it.
Right. And how much did you buy in?
I have a single stock.
So, but how much did you?
Oh,
Like,
how much did I buy?
What's your capital gains at for?
I don't even know. Let me see. I bought it at $117.48.
Well, you're up.
Okay, so
you're
you've
still
made
up.
like $10. That's pretty awesome.
I'm up $3.
There you go. So yeah.
That's entertaining. All right, next question. Do you think having more gamers as investors would help restore the creative industry?
No.
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 That would ruin it.
I think having more gamers as investors would not only be bad for the gaming industry, but it would also be very bad for the investing industry.
Yeah, because
It would be bad for the games. I think
Yeah.
when the gamers have actual control of the stock, you know, I feel like that would make them feel like they could more strongly influence the content of the games. Sort of like, I think it's bad for creative control to be taken away from creators.
to sum it up, you could say when gamers invest in companies and have a monetary interest, then they become investors, not gamers.
Exactly.
So no, that the answer to that question is no.
Exactly.
I'm just thinking about it a little bit more, but okay.
Me and Shalene were bopping the ball around. We bopped it over to the vendor, and it just goes.
Everybody's checking their
bing,
iPhones. Like, there's something wrong? Did my battery die?
No, I was actually looking at Microsoft stock.
I know that's what I was saying. We tossed the ball over to vendor, and it just bounces on the floor at his feet. Just drop the ball there.
And you guys could probably see like the graphs in the reflection of my sunglasses.
So I think he's got He's got one more question left.
Yes, and our next question is, what game is on the horizon that you would want to invest in?
None of them. I don't want to be an investor.
He says Cyberpunk 2077.
Gotcha. I just don't want to be an investor. I mean, I pulled all my money out of the stocks because I just felt kind of icky about it. And that's just me.
It's very dangerous.
For me, I actually bought a Take-Two stock almost immediately after Red Dead 2 was announced, and it doubled in value.
Dang.
So
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the gaming industry isn't really a trading sort of like platform for investors.
I just read his PS. That's awesome.
Yes. He also says, thank you, Shalene, for keeping us audio only crowd in the loop.
If it wasn't for Shalene, we would lose everyone listening in the podcast.
And you know, guys, there are a lot more people who are audio only.
There are.
Yeah.
So, all right. Those were great. Those were really good emails. Those were very rich.
Yes, enjoyable.
Speaking of rich, I didn't mean to make that.
Did we say his name?
Will.
Yes, it's Will. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Thank you.
I said it at the start. If you guys listening and anybody in the chat right now wants to send an email, just telling us a story or telling us about your GameStruck 4, you can send us an email at info@wejustlovegames.com. That's info@wejustlovegames.com.
Do either of you two have any plugs or anything? Any last words?
No, just a reminder to everybody to email us or send me a tweet or something telling me about how you want me to cover E3.
Yes.
I will not be on the E3 show floor. I can't afford to stay that long. But I will be at the Microsoft press conference and EA Play for sure. Maybe some other things. I'm trying to set up some other things. But let me know what you want to see. What kind of coverage do you want? Like, do you want vlogs? I don't know. So
Definitely.
let me know.
So you can also ping us with any other questions, comments, or concerns or musings at We Just Love Games on Twitter. You can tweet at Shalene L. You can tweet at me at Rick McVick, and you can tweet at Vendor at VendorTronIn. You can also reach out to us on Facebook.com/We Just Love Games and Facebook.com/group/We Just Love Games. We also have a Discord that you can get into. It's like Chat 2.0. And basically, all you got to do, send us a line of, hey, we want to be on Discord. And then we'll get you the right information to get onto Discord. We record live at 6 p.m. Mountain Time or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. Every other weekend we do the podcast, or every other week on Fridays we do the podcast. This is the other week. And then the other Friday will be next Friday, and we'll stream something we're not quite sure. We're on YouTube as well, iTunes and Stitcher Radio. If there's a place that you would like us to be and we're not, please let us know. I had someone ask me if we were on Spotify today, so that's something I'm going to look into because Spotify now has podcasts on there. So yeah, please like, subscribe, review. At the beginning of every episode, we always shout out all of our 5-star reviewers. So if you want to have a shout out, give us a 5-star review on iTunes or something. Also, yeah, I think that's it. I think we're good. Thank you so much for listening.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Goodbye.